welcome back to Renovating House 142. I'm standing in the corner to stay out of the wind so that the sound doesn't get blasted on this video. But we discovered due to recent precipitation that there are several small leaks, but there is one that's a little bit more major that happens to drip down on top of the shelves up there. And there's actually a hole in the MDF, a couple of holes in the MDF, and turns out the reason those holes are there is because the leak is bad enough that it has soaked all the way through. And so right next to the purple and gray lockers, there was a sizable puddle. Also discovered that this corner kind of turned into a little bit of a pool. Which is not really surprising. I mean, if you look in there, you can see that there's cracks in the mortar and everything outside slants toward the walls of the garage. So it's not really a surprise. It's something I bet that some tuck pointing and some landscaping will fix. I also had Wi-Fi installed, and that was awesome because that means that I was able to hook up the garage door opener to Wi-Fi, as well as our video keypad. So that's pretty cool. Can get in from the alley now, which I'm excited about. I was having this problem where the garage door was closing and it would get all the way shut and then open back up again. And it would start blinking like it was like the sensors got tripped or it was trying to squish something on the way down. And so when I finally got the Wi-Fi hooked up or got the garage door on the Wi-Fi, it gave me an error code and it said there was a problem with the sensors. And so I was trying to figure it out, and finally I disconnected the opener from the door and just kind of played around with the door, and come to find out that bottom part of the rail isn't actually quite attached to the frame, and so it wiggles around a little bit. So the sensor right there on the track, when the door would come down, it would wiggle the track just enough so that the sensor would go and make it seem like something had jumped in front of the door. So I got that fixed. That was pretty cool. I did get up to the roof, and I got up there and put some Flex Seal over several of the washers or several of the screws, guessing that maybe the washers are kind of part of that leak problem. I did fill up the end cap with a little bit of great stuff, and like I said, put some Flex Seal over the screws and ran in a new screw to kind of hold down the cap on top, the ridge cap. So, and then the last thing that I did today is I put a sweep on the walk door so that it will seal up at the bottom. Come over here and show you. So you can see that new sweep there on the bottom. So that's where we're at for today. I think the next step is going to be to start working in the house after I get this pile of oil and paint taken care of. Oh yeah, that's something else I forgot about. It's Earth Week, and one of the local steel recyclers was recycling fridges for $20 a piece instead of $30. So I got rid of all of the appliances. And that big green thing that was right here, after looking at it with my dad, we decided that actually kind of looked like a boiler, and it would be a wood-fired boiler. And so we wondered if maybe that came out of the house when the water heater heating system was somewhat repaired. And so, yeah, that was kind of neat to discover. That thing was heavy. We had 800 pounds of scrap steel after we unloaded the fridges. And so the cost of the scrap steel, or the cost of the recycling the fridges, was offset almost entirely by the scrap steel. And of that 800 pounds of steel, I think about 500 to 600 of that was in that boiler. That thing was heavy. So yeah, that's okay. That's it. That's where we're at for today. We'll catch you next time.